Manchester United is closing in on Geovany Quenda in the summer. Quenda himself is very, very excited about the prospect of reuniting with his former boss, Ruben Amorim. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Here is the, should I call it a rumor mill? But I think this Quenda move for me is quite imminent. It's quite serious. And I'll tell you, I would applaud it because this is a player United will definitely need in the summer. Subscribe, like, and share, and let's get proper into it. So the latest report coming through is that, and actually I think even Ben Jacobs spoke about this. I saw Team Talk speak about it. Several sources reaffirming something we've spoken about before, that Man United will be quick to try and sign a few players from Sporting CP in the summer. And the first one on the list for them is Geovany Quenda, that teenager who plays as a right wing back, inverted, left-footed, but is such a player that Ruben Amorim feels he's reached where when he worked with him at Sporting, promoting him from a Sporting B team into the senior team, he felt he was a player that he needs to move on with, because he's got all the key attributes that he needs in a right wing back to play in his system. So Geovany Quenda could be the first player United against. In fact, the reports are saying that they have already agreed personal terms with the kid to join Man United in the summer. And in terms of fee for Sporting CP, I think the relationship that United has got with Sporting CP, and not even just now, I think over the years, is one that will give them probably that assurance and confidence that the business will be done. So Quenda is definitely a player that United will certainly be quick to move for. If they can get any monies, I think they will be quick to go and sell him. And for me, I think this is a sensible deal. I've said it before that we've got to rebuild our own. I feel like Quenda, with his age and how the position he plays, I think for me that's an acceptable signing, regardless whether you feel 50 million, I think it might be between 40 and 50 million quid, whether I feel it's too much or so. I think definitely United has got to make a few signings. For me, if you're spending 50 million or 40 million or whatever on a wing back, first of all, a specific position for Amorim, and a young one at that, beautiful player, potential to be world class, but young, for me, I think that's an okay investment. It matches what Amorim and Ineos are doing with this squad. He matches age. He's within the same age of the young players you're looking at. He's still young. He's ahead of the rest in terms of playing competitive football. So for me, but also the advantage is being a specialist in the wing-back position has been nurtured and trained by Amorim to play in that system. For me, his programming is good. He's been programmed to play in that position. So if you've got Dogu, who Amorim knows well can play as a proper wing-back on the left probably, and you've got this boy who is, again, built for that system, playing the other side. Those are two critical solutions for Man United. And I'll tell you, they will certainly make Man United look totally different in a short time. So, for me, it's an okay signing. My disquiets would be about spending that kind of money on players like Osimhen, for example. Now, I think we're not there yet to spend that kind of money on a striker. We've spent a lot of money already on a striker. So I think for me, it would be a good move. It's I think something I believe is strongly imminent. I think it is bound to happen, and it doesn't really feel wrong at all. It doesn't in any way for me look like a continuation of what Ineos have been doing. I know United has been or rather what the Glazers were doing, signing players in every window for every manager. I think you certainly have got to sign players for a manager. Amorim is not going to, just because he's a head coach and United are changing things, he's not just going to work with what he has. He has got to bring in a few players to try and build onto what he has already. So I think Quenda is a perfect fit. Then the one other player I would want to see which other player is United going to get from Sporting, if any. And for me, it shouldn't be Gyökeres. It should be Julmand, the midfielder, or probably a defender, Inash or whoever. But most likely for me, it should be a midfielder to play next to Ugarte. If not, I want to see Man United look elsewhere for a serious midfielder. A serious central midfielder. If that is done for me, even if Man United made only those two signings in the summer because of lack of resources, but even for whichever reason, for me, I think it would be okay. Get the right profile of a central midfielder and get Quenda as a wing back. I think for me, Man United's transfer business in the summer would be okay. But what then would that add in Man United? Again, that would be the question. If United signed Quenda and got the central midfielder in the summer, what would that add? It would make the team look play. I think also when you sign those two players, they would help Man Ineos quickly identify or highlight the other key problems he needs to sort. I think when right now Man United is not playing. What I mean is that the ball is not moving. They are struggling on the basics of the game in terms of trying to look like a team in on a move. They are not on the go. They struggle in everything because the ball is not shifting. If you get Quenda and a good central midfielder, and you reposition some of the players, you push Bruno back to 10, give him whoever, whether it's Garnacho or Kobe. I mean, for me, I think Man United, first of all, would start flowing, and it would be easy now to see where the weak link is. If the team is playing, it's easy for you to identify and say, okay, the issue now is the lethal striker, or the issue now is maybe the goalkeeper, or it's the balance in the defense. These right-footed players are not looking good on the left. It's easy to identify the big issue on on a team if the ball is moving, if the team is playing. But if the ball is not moving, like it is with Man United for the most part now, it's very difficult for you to really see the problem. You can't diagnose the problem. It's like, I think it's like, I'm no mechanic, but I think it's like diagnosing a steel car, a car that can't move. I think it's more difficult for mechanics to find the problem with a car that is not moving, that cannot start. The engine is not moving. I think if you're it's easier for you to identify the problem with the car if the engine is running, if it's on, if it's switched on, or at least if it's moving, and you listen and you observe and listen, and it's easier that way. But if the car is parked there and it's still, and say what's the problem, the engine can't start. It's more difficult. It's very hard for you to see what the problem is. That's exactly what's happening with Man United. The ball is not moving. The team struggles in everything. So it's difficult for you to first make the team play, first make the team shift. And that's what Quenda does to the team. That's what a good central midfielder partnering Ugarte will do to the team. When that happens, you just look at it and say, okay, this left back is not it. We need a left back. This striker is not finishing. We need a finisher. Because right now I'll ask you, if Man United signed a striker, which striker would you need? Is it a finisher or a striker who creates the chances? Which striker would you need? You can't define the profile of the striker who would help Man United now. But if the team is moving, you would know perhaps all you need is a finisher. So for me, that is what has got to be done. And I feel this is more of the direction I would love Man United to take in terms of attacking the summer transfer window, than starting with a striker and then trying to go back into other departments. Subscribe, like, and share, and let me know what you think about Quenda.